So we are currently here in the hospital with Jocelyn. Once again, here in Albuquerque. This is our view from the hospital. Hi everyone. It's been a while since I do any videos. I usually don't do these types of videos. But we are here in the hospital once again with Jocelyn. I have been wanting to do a video like this for the longest time, ever since she got diagnosed, but I've actually done videos and just haven't posted them. I don't know if it's just fear of what people might say, fear of the unknown. I don't know. There's a lot of mean people out there. But we brought her yesterday after 3 days, or 3 nights actually, of fast heart breathing, low O2. The first day I did contact her specialist in Denver. They suggested me to put her on oxygen since we have the prescription at home. We have it on hand. But after talking to them, I was still not satisfied. My motherly instinct kicked in, and I went to urgent care and asked them if they could do a viral panel, since that's what we usually do, to rule out any viruses. If it's a virus, well, we know what's going on. And if not, then it's highly suggestive that she's having a flare of her condition, which is unknown. So we brought her in yesterday, and they suggested to do an x-ray. I wasn't thinking much of the x-ray because usually her x-rays, echoes, CT scans don't show anything. She was diagnosed back in 2019 when she was 5 years old with vasculitis. She had a full-blown vasculitis flare, whole body hives, huge hives, that would go down and cause bruising all over her body. After that flare is when she started having pulmonary issues, breathing issues. I blame it on that flare, but I'm just a mom. I'm not a doctor, and doctors have not been able to prove that both conditions are linked together as of today. She was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension as a secondary to her underlying pulmonary disease, which is unknown. The pulmonary hypertension was not diagnosed via echoes. It was diagnosed when they went in and did a heart cath on her, and that's when they discovered she does have pulmonary hypertension. Vasculitis, she's had 2 whole exome genetic testing, which have come back with two things of unknown significance, and Trisomy X Syndrome, which can cause things on its own, like seizures. But they can't link that to what's also going on her lungs as of today. So we brought her in yesterday, and wasn't thinking anything of the x-ray because, like I said, it's never shown anything. But then the doctors came in and said, have they told you what showed up in her x-ray? And I'm like, no. So they're like, well, it showed that her heart is enlarged. So they did 2 echoes, which didn't really show anything. So the thing is that doctors, when these tests don't show anything, they think that nothing is going on. Obviously something is going on. She has hard breathing, she has low O2, and her x-ray showed that her heart was enlarged. Why? I don't know. They can't figure it out, and they're supposed to be contacting Denver today because usually when this happens, that she's having some type of flare, they will start her on steroids, and we've been here since yesterday and they haven't started her on steroids. I guess they want to make sure with Denver and not just start her on steroids. Steroids help her sometimes. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Usually they do like a 5-day course of steroids. And then if she still continues, then they'll do more. But yeah, we don't know what's going on. Jocelyn has had 2 lung biopsies. The first one showed that her lymph nodes were enlarged in her lungs. And the second one that she had most recently showed that her lymph nodes are enlarged but are also carrying blood, which that wasn't in the first biopsy. I asked the doctors what that meant, and they do not know. They said that it's something rare, that they haven't seen it, and they don't know prognosis. They just don't know. All they know is that there should not be any blood in her lymph vessels, in her lungs. Lymph vessels carry lymph fluid, which should be clear, and there shouldn't be any blood in there. Does this mean that her condition is getting worse? We do not know. So there's a lot of unknown. She has been diagnosed with vasculitis back in 2019 when she had the full-blown flare. She was diagnosed with Trisomy X Syndrome via genetic testing. She was diagnosed with pulmonary hypertension via heart cath, and we are still waiting to see what her underlying lung disease is, because her pulmonary hypertension is secondary to her lung disease, meaning the pulmonary hypertension is being caused by her underlying lung disease, which is unknown. Because of that biopsy, she was referred to the Vascular Anomalies Clinic, also in Denver. I had a video call with them, and we are now waiting on genetic testing with a SOVA genetic testing, which is like a more targeted genetic testing for vascular anomalies. If that comes back with something, there is different types of medication that she can take. Don't know what they are yet. But if it doesn't, then we're back at square one. So I have for the longest time been requesting a second opinion, or maybe it's a third opinion, I don't know, because she's been seen here in Albuquerque and in Denver. Her Denver doctors they're awesome, really. They know what they're doing. She just has rare conditions, and sometimes you just have to get to see other doctors somewhere else, and just to get another opinion and make sure that you're not leaving at any loopholes. I am trying to get that third opinion. It's taken a long time. I've requested it, but we need to get all the documents from Albuquerque, all the documents from Denver, the referral. It's not that easy. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I have actually done videos when we've gone up to Denver with her, and for one reason or another, I just don't post them. I guess it's a little scary to go out and post things into the world, not knowing how people will react. But do know that I don't want to be in this situation. I am in this situation with my daughter. We as a family are in this situation. It's not something that I want to be in. It's not something that I wish upon my daughter. It's not something that I want to be going through I don't think any parent would want to be going through any sickness with their children. The reason why I'm doing this video now is because of the unknown, and sometimes I wonder if I get this out there, if there will be some help out there for her, somebody that might know what's going on with her that can reach out. Also, another reason why is because I want parents to know that they're not alone. Parents that are going through similar situations with their children, or the same situation, who knows, you know? Parents that might need somebody else to be there, you know, just as a support system. Sometimes it's good just to talk, even if you can't really help. It's just getting those emotions out and just talking about it. And that's why I'm doing this video. It's not for like publicity. It's just to get it out there for parents to know that they're not alone. And if somebody does want to reach out that is going through something similar or the same thing, I am more than glad to talk to them. It's something that I have been looking for it myself, you know, parents that are going through the same situation as I am with their children. It's hard being in the hospital. It's hard not knowing what is going on with your child, seeing them breathe like she breathes and not doing anything about it. I will not sit down and just watch my child breathe that way and not do anything about it. That's just not an option for me. She is online schooling. She has been sick ever since, even before starting school. She was diagnosed at 5 years old. So when she started school, she was already in and out of the hospital. When she started school, she would go to school, get sick with a cold, and end up in the hospital admitted for days or weeks. Then get out of the hospital, go back to school, get sick again, come to the hospital, get admitted, days, weeks, and so on and so forth, until the school and her teachers were like, you know what, we think that the best thing to do for Jocelyn is to have her online. It's still public school, it's just online, because that way when she gets sick and she comes back to school, or when she's online, she could do a lot of like her own pace, and it's more flexible. And when she's in person, she can't do that. Like, you'll go back to school and the class is way ahead of you, and you could try and make up the work, but like, you're so far behind, you know? So that's the reason why she's online schooling. It's not because I want to have her online schooling. It's because the school system suggested that that would be the best option for her, as well as her doctors, because they're like, it's unfair that she will go to school and have to be admitted to the hospital so many times and just be miserable because she's sick all the time. That is why she's on online schooling. I did want to try and put her in-person schooling this next year, or this next school year. But I am unsure if that is the right decision for her as of today. I do not know. But any decision that I make, I know that it's going to be what her doctors, her school, and us as a family think is the best decision to do for her. She's on medication for her pulmonary hypertension, and she's still getting these flares. So I'm not sure if it's actually the pulmonary hypertension or it's like her underlying lung disease, you know. She's on tadalafil. She takes it every night, 30 mg. So, yeah. If there's anybody out there with a similar situation or somebody going through something with their children in the hospital, a sickness, and you want to reach out, go ahead and reach out to me. I wish that there was something that I could do, you know. I wish there was more answers, but a lot of times there aren't the answers that we want. There aren't many answers. There are rare things out there, and we just have to be strong for our children and be their strongest advocate. Sometimes it's very hard to be their advocate. Sometimes you think that you're getting nowhere. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I even feel like it's like the doctors maybe are like, I'm trying to get answers that are there, and it's frustrating. It's stressful. Sometimes it's there's a lot of expectations on the parents. I have to repeat myself, her whole story since day one back in 2019. Every time I see a new doctor, I have to remember everything, dates. It takes a toll on you as a parent. All the hospital stays. It's a lot. So right now we are waiting for them to get in contact with Denver, see if they want to start steroids or not. I myself will be contacting Denver because we are our strongest advocates for our children, and I want to know what's going on. I might not get all the answers, but at least I know I tried. And yeah, we will see what Denver says. And meanwhile, we are here. She's on oxygen. I believe she's on 2 liters of oxygen right now. She's sleeping. Her sats look okay, but that's because she's on the oxygen. Just her breathing is still hard breathing. But yeah, I will post any updates, and just prayers for Jocelyn. Bye.